Oh my God, just stop. Stop. How can you not look at that before this blush and think I've done too much? How can you not see that? How can you think that this is better and adding more? You don't even have to be a makeup artist to see this. Am I right? Like, fuck, stop. Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a reaction video for you today. We are watching one of Judy D's videos. I have not watched this one. I've been holding out. You will love Judy D's videos as much as I do. So don't forget to subscribe to her channel. I'll leave a link down below in the description box, and a full version of this video will be linked down below there. Also, consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment as well. And if you don't know what to comment, just leave algorithm. It helps. And as I always like to say before these videos, creativity and individuality have no rules, but makeup most definitely has a theory, especially when you're charging people money for it. Okay, let's go.
So this was problematic, Linda's, because this became a habit throughout the entire makeup process, and my brain was just disconnected from my spine. I was probably working 10 different kinds of muscles in my neck. She did clean my face and she moisturized. We do appreciate that. Although
Yes.
I was expecting it, you know, for the price I paid. I mean, this was $50. Even her brush, like, it looked clean. She was using that plastic like palette. So generally we're looking professional.
Why don't let me pause? Okay, yes, hygiene is always good. $50, okay. $50 for, to me, isn't that expensive if the makeup artist is experienced. You're having lashes, you're having, you know, an hour of good makeup, and that includes skin prep, everything like that. She has like a plastic palette to be like using her products from, so it's not directly touching the face. Hygiene, and she has a good clean brush. Okay, so far so good, but as we always know in these videos, it's not gonna be good forever. Okay, so that foundation doesn't seem to be spreading very far. You know what? Start from the middle of the face and work your way out. It kind of like, makeup artists tend to do these things nowadays, or people who do makeup, where they just put loads of product on the face and then they're like, okay, now I need to blend this. It's like, why don't you just blend bit by bit, and then you won't have to be like, hey, there's loads of product on her face. Because the amount of product she's put on her face already is a good medium full coverage for the whole face. The whole face, not just the side and the forehead. You know what I mean? Oh no, 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 no.
So yeah, ma'am cleaned the beauty blender. You know, I've never seen this happen in a salon. So I'm not gonna be negative Nancy here and be like, oh my god, ew, she didn't even dry it. So
a little bit worried about texture because it's a damp beauty blender, which you use them damp anyway, but there's a lot of foundation on it and there's some good skin prep. So I just want to see how they work out with the texture of the foundation, because it might look a little bit separated, but we'll see. It could be okay.
oh, okay, it was wet, it was moist, it was humid, it stunk. But who cares? Who cares I was being showered? Okay, Linda, you gotta relax. You gotta relax. You're exaggerating. What? Yeah, I can read your mind.
See, this is what I mean by just putting on the foundation over the whole face and then tapping it in. Even with a beauty sponge, I would tap on the hand, or I would tap on the palette or the hand, and then tap onto the skin little bits at a time. Because it just take your time with foundation. Come on.
I know that's what you were thinking. And you know what you're also thinking right now? Oh my god, how dare I not be subscribed to Judy right now? Like, how dare I? Subscribe, Linda. Subscribe. You know, we have to appreciate the thought.
We're not going to blend around the nose. We're not going to blend around the nose here. We're not going to do that with a tip of a sponge or with a little brush. We're just going to leave that product just sitting there like that. Okay.
We appreciate the thought of cleaning the beauty blender.
I don't know if it was actually cleaned or it was just dampened to use. This concealer, I'm okay with this amount. It might be a bit too much, but to be fair, the foundation isn't crazy thick. The unblended texture around the nose is doing my head in, but let's see how it
know damn well.
If this is powder, I think it is. We have a very wet base at the moment. So we've used a liquid foundation, which is great. And then we also use a beauty blender to blend it in, which is also great. But when you put powder on top of something wet, it obviously the wetness grips and can make it look a little bit unsomething. So I would either lightly powder the face if we weren't going to use any more creams, if we're done with concealer. Apparently we're done. Before we're putting this powder on, because it's kind of looking like it's gripping and sticking rather than just being part of the face, you know? And it's very high up. It's around the thingy bone here, which is kind of where we're going to put highlighter, which says to me she's going to put highlighter on top of a bronzer and we're going to get a bit of a muddy look. Let's take a look.
It looks like someone strapped me in the back of the car, got in the car, drove at 100 kilometers per hour while my cheek scraped against the street. That's what this looks like. It looks like rope burn, actually. It looks like someone was rubbing rope on my cheek.
Look at why. More? No. So when people do that on the nose, right, you either go in with a tiny bit of product or you use what's left of the brush. This is gonna look like you've just whacked a load of bronzer on a nose. No.
Lindas, do you hear that? That's the sound of my skin cells dying of dehydration because we're about to do some heavy powdering. It wasn't too bad, you know, and until this point, everything's just fine. Like, it's ugly, but it's not audacious. There is a massive difference, believe me. I mean...
Okay, so this kind of tells me, right, so I don't bake. I don't like baking on clients. I never will. However, this person is replicating baking on the skin. They've wiped a bit of powder here and they've wiped a bit of powder under the eyes. However, it kind of just goes to show that this artist is just mimicking what they've seen online, because the benefit of putting powder here is to do it quite blocky and quite heavy, so you're cutting off the contour of a bronzer. But they haven't done that there. They just basically applied a light layer of powder. And same under the eyes. I think they're just kind of mimicking what they're seeing online without realizing the positioning or what the benefit is of that method. I hope it makes sense. Because there's no reason to just do light powder here and then some under the eyes. You can do the whole face, of course, but just doing it there is when people are cutting off and baking that area, so you get a defined line there.
It is a bit depressing that this is $50, but if we start getting depressed from now, Lindas, I don't think we'll be emotionally alive by the end of this video. So let's just save our sanity for now and just appreciate this.
Liquid product on top of powder, here we go. You will know how I feel about concealer as eyeshadow primer or use under eyeshadow. If you don't, I will link my eyeshadow primer video down below so you can watch me rant, because I swear I do it in every video.
So you know, Lindas, I'm just like stretching my neck. But tell me why I look like I'm about to beat someone up. I look like I just walked out of a bar fight and I was the victorious one. And here I am ready to beat some more people up. I look like I'm ready to get in a fight. She then starts doing my eyebrows, and my eyebrows, for like the first minute she was shading them in, actually looked good. They were nicely shaped until they weren't. I mean, we got a very sad tail. Why is it so sad? And I mean, it didn't help that she also overlined my eyebrows like at the arch, so now we just look like a villain.
The method was there. The individual hairs started out positive. I thought that was really, really good. But then she started like dot to dot around the edges and drag it out with this reddy brown. Can you see how her natural hair color isn't a reddy brown? And usually we go like a little bit deeper or the shade off, and this brown has red to it. Also, I can't stop looking at the ashiness, the grayness on the nose where that powder and that cream product has been mixed with a bronzer, and the powder under the eye has not been blended. We need to finish up steps correctly before we start another one, you know?
¿Te molesta o algo? Un poco. Un poco. ¿Te aprieta o algo? Ah, no. Como mi cuello. Ah, okay.
Same. You know what?
She did conceal it, you know.
She just said her neck hurt. And you know what? It comes from leaning back like that. But also the artist constantly putting pressure on your head like this. It's too much. It's way too much.
She did conceal it. She did something about it. And we appreciate that, of course. But she started shading again, and now we look even uglier than before. So remember how I looked like 5 minutes ago? Now we appreciate that one compared to this one. But just keep appreciating the present, Lindas. Keep appreciating what we look.
It's too strong. It's too harsh. That arch at the top here is too far out. It needs to be here. We need to be arching here and then coming down on this area here. Also, they always do this to Judy's eyes. Lift that brow up. Take it out this way a little bit. Come on.
Look like now, because again, we're gonna keep getting worse. Now that we've reached the goal of finally looking like the orange Angry Bird, it was time to do my eyes. And Lindas, I really have to keep reminding myself that this was actually $50 because I just don't see the money's worth in this makeup at all. She doesn't go for like any crazy color, which I mean is a nice change.
This is why I don't like concealer as a base. One, because it looks so strange with powder on top. Okay, eyeshadow right up to the brow like that is kind of fine. I mean, I've done it here a little bit, but I would like to see it fade out rather than have this harsh line here, because then it just looks like you've done it wrong. You know what I mean? We need a bit of blending going in there. These colours are starting to look a little bit muddy. We need some warmth in there now, considering the eyebrow is so warm. Let's get some more ready tone browns in there. Also, there's a lot of this makeup is coming outside of her actual eye area, which we can blend out nicely, but it'll be so much nicer if it wasn't as high on Judy and actually came out more like this rather than high up and out. It's starting to look very costumey, very Halloween-esque. Oh no. Okay, here's here's a warning. Concealer on top of this browny grey eyeshadow is going to look grey. Is she trying to do a cut crease and then go in with a sponge that has no definition in terms of shaping product to blend in that shape? Come on. We need a brush with edges. You can't control. Look at that. You can't control where it's gone. It's gone everywhere. Pointless. Also, the blending brush is too big to start. That's a good blending brush. I always think you need two kinds of blending brushes. One that's a little bit smaller and a little bit more precise to shade in and blend the color and move the color, and then a bigger one just to start blending and fading out. And because look how much room this big blending brush has taken up. It's not the best shape. She's using the same brush as well for the lighter colors. You're muddling all these colors up. You know what I mean? You can clean the brush with a quick drying brush cleanser in between, or get yourself a small, tiny brush kit. You're charging for makeup. have the tools to do it. Please. You work in a salon. Come on. Stop. Muddy, muddy. This whole look is patchy and muddy. There's no thought about where the product is going. Judy's face shape, the structure of her face, nothing is, that we're just slapping on the makeup and being like, okay, this is fine. This goes here and this goes here and it's looking like makeup. It's ridiculous. Oh my God, just stop, stop. How can you not look at that before this blush and think I've done too much? How can you not see that? How can you think that this is better and adding more? You don't even have to be a makeup artist to see this. Am I right? Like, fuck, stop. Also, red and green should never be seen except for Christmas and Halloween. Okay. Grey, grey, the greyness. Let me go back a little bit. The grey patches on. This is what happens when you build up product in the wrong order. Okay, you know what? You know what? I'm not mad at the lips. The lips are okay. They're slightly overdrawn and perhaps the colour isn't the best choice. Just look at the skin colour and I mean, no one's contours and bronzers are this grey. It is insane. Okay, let's keep looking. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Where did the 50 go?
In the contour.
But yeah, okay. So I'm tearing up because she literally poked me in the eye.
The lips, you have to be careful because one thing you don't want is when you overdraw someone's lip, when they smile, you don't want their lips to be touching the bottom of their nose, you know what I mean? So if I was to smile like this and my top lip was drawn up to here, it would look like my nose and my lip were touching and you don't want that. So you have to be very careful. It's not a bad job. The shape is really nice in terms of how they've done, well, this side anyway, how they've done the lip. It's just the skin, the greyness. How much would you pay for that? How much would you pay for this? Okay, you can watch the whole video down below in the description box. I'll leave that link there for you. Give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more reaction videos like this. And I will see you very, very soon. Bye.